think. Guys, thank you. Welcome to Detroit. It is a cold, overcast day for Game 3 of this American League Championship Series. And the fans here in Detroit are ready. They've welcomed their Tigers back home, and this ALCS has been so fun already. The Boston Red Sox, the Detroit Tigers tied at a game apiece. And now welcome inside the broadcast booth, everybody. Hello. Tim McCarver is coming right up. Well, the first two games have been so much fun. There's no doubt. The pitching on both sides, actually, well, it's been fantastic. And the beauty of this game of baseball during this month, in the postseason in October, somebody steps up and does something heroic. And then, bang, the entire feeling of the series shifts. That's kind of what happened in Game 2 in the 8th inning with that grand slam hit by David Ortiz. So the series is tied at a game apiece, Tim. The starting pitching, as I said, has been good on both sides. For the Detroit Tigers, it's been unbelievable.
I have never seen anything like it. If you're not familiar with this statistic, you will be. The two starters, Anibal Sanchez and Max Scherzer, through games 1 and 2, have held the Boston Red Sox to 2 for 41 with 25 strikeouts. It's staggering.
It really is. It is staggering to think of what's happening now. David Ortiz hits the home run. David Ortiz and Torrey Hunter had a moment before tonight's game where they came together, shared a little bit of a hug. Tonight is Justin Verlander, and I guess that's what Detroit has going for it. The heartbreak 2 nights ago, but they've got this guy going today.
I think Detroit has two things going for them. The off day yesterday to forget, and Justin Verlander to remember.
He gets the ball, and he will take on John Lackey. There's the moment between Big Papi and Torrey Hunter, who came so close to catching that ball in the 8th inning at Fenway Park. And as we go to break, we'll take a listen to how Big Papi's shot in the 8th was heard around the world.
No hit through 5 2/3 now. They've got Ortiz. Bases loaded. 2 out.
Empata o controle. Hunter on the run. Se continua, Hunter, ele cantou. Davi Ortiz, o Big Papi pro campo direito. E o Red Sox. David Ortiz. Papi, この一発。Incroyable scénario.
1997. In Game 1, it was Anibal Sanchez who was so dominant through 6 innings, did not allow a hit. Max Scherzer didn't for the first 5 2/3 innings. David Ortiz had a hit, a big one in the 8th inning to tie it, a grand slam just out of the reach of Torrey Hunter. And then Jared Saltalamacchia with a game-winning hit in the 9th inning. And his teammates joining him on the field to celebrate a travel day yesterday. And now here is Justin Verlander, one of the game's best. 2 no-hitters to his credit. A Cy Young and an MVP award on the mantle back in 2011. And here's the starting lineup that faces him. Put together by John Farrell. It's brought to you by Taco Bell. Sometimes you gotta live Moss. Jacoby Ellsbury leads it off. Shane Victorino in right. Dustin Pedroia hits third. David Ortiz is the DH. Mike Napoli at first. Jared Saltalamacchia does the catching. Johnny Gomes in left. Stephen Drew is the shortstop, and Will Middlebrooks is batting in the 9th spot, playing third base. And before the first pitch, the first real pitch, we'll remind you that the opening pitch is brought to you by Budweiser. Great times are waiting. Grab some buds. Here are the numbers for a guy who can just flat out dominate the opponent, no matter who they may be.
You might say, well, why is he only 13 and 12? Well, the Tigers did not score a lot of runs for him in September. He has been red hot. No runs in his last 4 starts. Will he change his normal approach where he starts off slowly and finishes thunderously? We'll see.
First up is Jacoby Ellsbury. The top two guys in this Red Sox lineup have not done their typical work setting up the middle of this Red Sox order. Ellsbury and Victorino a combined 1 for 13, and that's a big deal when you keep that speed and those threats off the bases. Verlander brings it and finds strike one. Victorino will follow, then Dustin Pedroia against the right-hander Verlander, who had 24 wins 2 years ago. He was the MVP and the Cy Young Award winner, and that's outside a ball and a strike. It is a chilly afternoon in Detroit. Game 3 of this ALCS. The series tied at a game apiece. The 1-1. Outside again. It's 2-1. 63 degrees. A nice breeze, however, blowing in from center field. A little chilly, and I'm sure it'll drop as we go.
It's what you want in October in postseason baseball. Gotta love it.
Here's the 2-1 pitch from Verlander. Check swing, and that's easy for Cabrera. A little juggle, but the out, one away. Give you a look at the Tigers defensively. It's brought to you by Bayer Back and Body, the official pain reliever of MLB. Andy Dirks is in the outfield and left today. Austin Jackson in center, and Torrey Hunter able to continue despite that big fall in game 2. Little sore, but no worse for the wear. And it's Cabrera, Peralta, Infante, and Fielder on the infield, with Avila doing the catching, and Shane Victorino digs his way in. The first from Verlander is down and in, ball 1. Verlander has worked 28 straight scoreless over his last 4 starts, making his 15th career postseason start here this afternoon. He's 7-4 lifetime in October. Took something off and the count, a ball and a strike.
Yeah, that's what he'll do in the early innings. That's what John Farrell said. He was wondering whether Verlander, because it's postseason, would pitch like it's the late innings starting out. Not so. He's got his routine and he's sticking to it.
Here's a little soft liner caught by Infante, 2 out. And with the bases empty, Pedroia will be the hitter. The home plate umpire is Ron Kolpa. He's joined by Alfonso Marquez, Dale Scott, Dan Iasonia on the bases. Rob Drake down the right field line. Joe West is the crew chief down the left field line. There's a moment of silence before today's game here in Detroit to remember the life and honor Wally Bell, who passed away at the age of 48. Longtime Major League umpire. And a nice moment here at Comerica. Down go the Red Sox, 1-2-3. Bottom of the first inning rolls in. John Lackey rolls out, going to work. No score. Insurance and by DirecTV. If you call yourself a sports fan, you got to get DirecTV. Now the starting lineup for the Tigers, brought to you by Taco Bell. Sometimes you got to live Moss. Austin Jackson in there in center, leading off. Torrey Hunter batting second and right. Miguel Cabrera hits third. Prince Fielder, Victor Martinez the DH. Johnny Peralta at short to start the day. Alex Avila does the catching. Omar Infante, and Andy Dirks gets the start batting ninth. He's in left field. And here's the right-hander John Lackey, who missed all of last year recovering from Tommy John surgery.
Where does the time go, Joe? 11 years ago, we did Game 7 of the World Series. Anaheim Angels against the San Francisco Giants, and John Lackey, a rookie, was on the mound. He's an experienced, gritty postseason performer. Deceptive record because of little run support.
Here's a fly ball into right center field. Going to get it, Victorino. And to adjust. 1 pitch, 1 out. Well, according to manager John Farrell, the Boston Red Sox's Torrey Hunter will walk to the plate. John Lackey, in his first year back from Tommy John surgery, isn't as powerful as he was earlier in the year. You talked about some of the numbers. Before the All-Star break, Lackey had an ERA under 3. After the All-Star break, he's had an ERA at about 4.5. Here's a line drive into center. I guess the scouting report is to go up there hacking, 1 on, 1 out. 2 pitches, a fly ball to right and a base hit to center. And Torrey Hunter's 2 for 11 in this series. The Boston defense brought to you by Bayer Back and Body, the official pain reliever of MLB. Gomes is in left, not Nava. Ellsbury in center, Victorino in right. Middlebrooks, Drew, Pedroia, Napoli on the infield. Salta Lamacchia behind the plate. And these Tigers have rolled right into that batter's box, ready to hack.
Well, Torrey Hunter is very smart. Normally, if the leadoff hitter hits the first pitch, your number 2 hitter will take the first pitch. Torrey Hunter turning the tables and swinging and getting the first hit of the game.
So here's Cabrera, and he swings at the first pitch. Whether this is what they want to do specifically against Lackey, or they just want to be aggressive coming off what was a crushing defeat in Game 2, it's obvious that these guys said, we're going to go up there and swing.
Yeah, particularly against a guy who throws a lot of strikes.
Cabrera's homered in this series. He homered in Game 2. A little tougher task to get it out of the ballpark here today. It's chilly, wind is blowing in this ballpark, even though they've made it a little more friendly to hitters. It still takes quite a poke to get it out, especially straightaway center is 420.
There's only one guy in the American League that can squeegee this ballpark up, and that's the guy at the plate right now.
Yeah, he can make any park look small.
Yeah.
1 on, 1 out, 1-1 pitch. Lackey got it by him at 93. John Lackey is making his 14th career postseason start. He's 4-4. 1-0 this year. He won Game 2 of the division series 7-4 over Tampa Bay when he pitched into the 6th.
2 strikes, it doesn't matter with Cabrera. I think the best 2-strike hitter I've ever seen.
In the air to center. Back is Ellsbury. Tagging is Torrey Hunter. Ellsbury got into good position to throw, and Hunter stays put 2 out. That's what Torrey Hunter's reading, watching the outfielder, and Ellsbury didn't take anything for granted. And he fired a 1-hop strike into second. Here's Prince Fielder.
One thing the Tigers can do is run against John Lackey. He gave up 36 stolen bases this year, the most in baseball. However, on the other hand, the Tigers only stole 35 bases, so they don't run a lot, but Torrey Hunter's one of the guys who can run a little bit.
Breaking ball caught the outside corner, according to Ron Kolpa. It's a big pitch for John Lackey if he can get that over. And he got the far edge of the strike zone from the home plate umpire. Runner at first, 2 out. Fielder drops one into right center field. Hunter will turn and go, and it's first and third, 2 out.
Fastball away. Fielder lifts it into right center, and Hunter to third. You talk about a guy who's a clutch hitter. That's the guy coming up right now. Talking about it on the pregame show, Matty and Harold and the guys. I'd pick Victor Martinez as one of the top 3 hitters in the American League, if not top 3, top 5. And when guys are on base, he's better.
He's had success against Lackey, 11 out of 29, as he digs in first and third, 2 out, and the Tigers trying to take a lead here in the first inning of Game 3. Strike 1 from Lackey. Victor Martinez, for his postseason career, back up what you said, Tim. A .379 hitter with runners in scoring position.
Strong.
Switch hitting DH. The 0-1. Ball and a strike. Here comes a 1-1 from Lackey. Over but low, 2-1. On deck is Peralta, but the battle now for Lackey and Martinez.
Wants the breaking ball.
Floats outside, 3-1. Victor Martinez is so good from this side of the plate. It's where the majority of his power is. It's where the average is. A career .364 hitter against right-handed pitching in his postseason career. Here's a 3-1. Got the strike on a tantalizing curveball that rolled in there a full count.
That is a good pitch. And a count that's against him. Breaking ball and a good one. Now you can follow it up with either the curveball or the sinker away, with fielder running at first.
34-year-old right-hander John Lackey trying to get around 2 hits in the first. That is foul.
That's what that curveball 3-1 makes the hitter do. It makes him wait too long. That's why he hit the ball to left field. Curveball and now the fastball. Martinez realizes he's got to wait longer. He's late on the pitch and fouls it off.
Another 3-2. Fly ball into center. Ellsbury is there. Tigers lead 2 after 1 in game 3. No score here in Detroit. Little daytime baseball in Detroit. Game 3. They booed David Ortiz when he was announced, and he digs now into the batter's box, and that's music to his ears. Shifted on the infield. Cabrera, the only guy on the left side. They obviously play David Ortiz to pull in the outfield. Ortiz is the one guy who somehow has figured out Verlander. He's 10 out of 27 against the Detroit right-hander.
With 2 home runs.
Ball and a strike. Starting pitching for Detroit, as we talked about in the open, going back to last year in the ALCS when they made quick and easy work of the Yankees. Dominant is not a strong enough word. Here's a 1-1 pitch. That's foul and out of play. If you go back to last year now, the starting pitching over the last 6 games, is 4-0 with an ERA of 0.67. And the opponents, teams good enough to get to the LCS, are hitting 116 against the starters for Jeff Jones. Pitching coach for Jim Leland. Red Sox went in order in the first. Verlander has Ortiz set up. And he did not go on a check swing. The pitch down and in, 2-2.
You may remember in game 1, Anibal Sanchez struck out Ortiz on 2 check swings, his first time up and his third time up. And David almost goes after that breaking ball out of the strike zone.
The 2-2. Another one out of play. Here are the numbers the last 2 seasons during the LCS. 50 strikeouts compared to 17 walks. Just dominant. Same group this year and last. Here's a 2-2. Just up and away, a full count. Dominant. I said it again. I'm not smart enough to come up with anything better than that.
2 Titans going at each other right here, Ortiz and Verlander.
Three-two pitch. Another foul. Good at bat.
That's interesting, that pitch up and away for Verlander. He knows that most left-handers can't handle that pitch, and that includes David Ortiz. In fact, that's where Justin Verlander got a lot of Oakland Athletic hitters out in game 5 when he had a no-hitter into the 7th inning in that game.
Just outside. Verlander frozen after not getting the call from the home plate umpire, and it's a leadoff walk. Here's that word again. Second pitcher in baseball history with 10 or more strikeouts and no runs in back-to-back starts. You can put him on the list with Bob Gibson in 64 and 67 in the series. Chris Carpenter of the Cardinals in 2011, the Division Series and World Series. This is in winner-take-all games. Matt Cain last year in the Division Series in the NLCS, and now Verlander doing it in the Division Series the last 2 times in Oakland. And the A's, as we said, they've seen enough of Verlander. He has shut them down and kicked them out of the postseason the last 2 years. Here's Napoli. 1 on, nobody out. That gets away, but not far enough for Ortiz to advance.
Joe, we had a meeting with Mike Napoli before the game, and you had a great question. How are you going to approach Verlander? Napoli said, I think I'm going to take the fastballs inside and look for the breaking ball away. He got the breaking ball away on the first pitch. Verlander pitches very differently again in the first half of the game than he does the second half. He saves the gas for late. His fastest fastball in the first inning, 94 miles an hour.
Good breaking ball for strike 2.
Jelly legs on this one. Watch the left leg of Napoli buckling. Right leg too.
It's now a 1-2 count. That's where Verlander had Ortiz. He let him get away. Napoli strikes out. 1 on, 1 out. And the batter will be Saltalamacchia. You know, after the Ortiz moment the other night, 2 nights ago, Sunday night at Fenway Park, first of all, Napoli had to go hit. He's like, how am I going to top that? I mean, I don't even want to dig into the batter's box. This place is about to fall down, Fenway Park, and I have to go hit after the grand slam by Ortiz. And then Saltalamacchia ends up getting the game-winning hit with a winning run at third and nobody out as he shot one past the drawn-in infield, going the opposite way, and then that slow-motion shot of Saltalamacchia rounding the bases, getting around first base, and being chased by his teammates flooding out of the dugout.
What'd you say the other night? Chasing the hero, and that's exactly what they were doing.
He was still kind of on the undercard to what Ortiz did. That's down. 1 ball, 1 strike. A leadoff walk to Ortiz. Napoli struck out. The 1-1. 2 balls and a strike. Let's go back to game 2. Budweiser is the official beer of Major League Baseball. From shutouts to walk-offs to perfect games, they've been celebrating the greatest moments in Major League Baseball for over 30 years. Great times are waiting. Grab some buds. And those buds came together in the shallow outfield after the game was over and the series was tied 1-1 on Sunday night.
Red Sox showing once again that part of the allure is the chase.
Many different phases of life.
Yes.
Here's a 2-1. Had him out in front, and the count 2-2. That's the one I like. Just the beauty of that video.
Isn't that something? You gotta love it. No.
Being reminded to touch first base. One on, one out, 2-2 count. Got him. 2 out.
Fastest pitch he's thrown so far. That's that pitch up and away again to left-handers. I think that's the pitch the Red Sox have to lay off of if they're going to get Verlander today.
Jake Peavy, who gets the ball in game 4 tomorrow night against Doug Fister, was talking before the game, and he said Verlander is the envy of every starting pitcher in baseball, because we might be able to get into a tight spot and crank it up 1 mile per hour or 2 miles per hour with a fastball. Here's Gomes. He takes a strike. Verlander, as you said earlier, even late in the game can crank it up. He can go from 91 to 96 to 98.
Yeah. I don't think in my experience I've ever seen a pitcher that could save up that much and go from 92 early to 98 late after 120, 125 pitches.
Yeah, it's like, where's that been all day?
Yeah, right.
Oh, 2 on Gomes, who was kind of a surprise starter here in game 3 with Daniel Nava starting this game on the bench.
Daniel Nava ended up this year 8th in the American League in hitting. 8th. And here's a right-handed hitter against Verlander, and Johnny Gomes, maybe it was because he scored the winning run the other night after getting the hit before Saltalamacchia.
John Farrell, his manager, said you can throw the matchups out.
Yeah. Gomes
just has some of the intangibles we want in our lineup today against Verlander.
And that's got to be the case when you're replacing a guy 8th in the league in hitting.
We detailed the success of the teams Gomes has been on, getting to the postseason for the last 6 years. So he knows what this month is all about in Major League Baseball. He's not scared. He's probably one of the most confident hitters, really professional athletes, you're going to find anywhere. He likes the challenge, but he's set up here at 1-2. One of the guys certainly who has helped come into Boston and get the taste of a 93-loss season from a year ago out of the mouths of both the players and the fans. 1-2.
Ain't nobody.
One on, two out. And that's down the left field line. Into the corner. This ball is just foul. And Johnny Gomes almost rewarded John Farrell for this start with a second inning home run, as that just kept hooking down the line.
Hanging curveball, tailing foul. Not every pitch is a mistake. Not every pitch, not every mistake is hit out of the ballpark. But that clearly a high curveball, and Gomes looked like he thought he had it.
It was almost Puig-esque.
Not quite.
1 on, 2 out. Another foul by Gomes. So Gomes is making Verlander work. Justin could strike out the side here in the second. And here are today's Ford keys to the game.
Yeah, the Red Sox hope they can run their way out of the slump of those first three hitters, but 3 up, 3 down in the first inning. For the Tigers, they've got the right guy on the mound for their recovery after that devastating loss on Sunday.
Breaking ball again, and Gomes just able to fight it off.
Jackie McMullen, a writer in Boston, said that Sunday was the greatest day in Boston sports history. That's saying something.
Well, yeah. Patriots coming back to beat the Saints with 5 seconds left. And then what happened later that night at Fenway in the 8th inning with the grand slam and then the game-winning hit to even this ALCS. David Ortiz says thanks for the vote of confidence in my running speed, but I'm not going anywhere.
You know, I think Verlander's just working on that. He doesn't have speed on the base, but he's just working on the quick feet and the movement of the feet to throw to first base when speed gets on there.
Runner goes, but a swing and a miss. And Verlander strikes out the side. And here come those Tigers starters again, holding this Red Sox team to 2 for 45 so far in this ALCS. No score after 1.5. Strong defense matters most in October. Catch the top defensive plays and enter for a chance to win an all-new 2014 Chevy Silverado at ChevyBaseball.com. Well, guess what? The lights have gone out, at least the majority of them. We had a power surge, and not exactly Super Bowl 47, but we're not inside a dome. They had a 34-minute delay during the Super Bowl down in New Orleans. I mean, there's enough lighting, I guess, at this point, natural light, where you could probably play, but they started this game with the lights on. The scoreboards are kind of going haywire. That one's okay. The ribbon boards are intermittently out, and so that lets the fans know that that's what we're dealing with, as the scoreboards are flashing around the sides of the ballpark just below our level here at Comerica, and so we'll have to sort this out. I saw Aaron Andrews go charging down there to try to get the report from the umpires, and now the umpires are getting a briefing. Jim Leland a part of it. We'll just have to wait and see what kind of a delay we're in for here in Detroit. Rich Reeker, who is one of the umpire supervisors is in on that meeting. And now John Farrell is out talking to Ron Kolpa, who is the home plate umpire, and we'll just have to wait and see why the power outage. If there's a specific reason. John Lackey's shaking his head because he's about to go back to work, and how long is the delay going to be?
That could really upset starting pitchers. Pitchers are very, very sensitive to things like this. You could see John shaking his head. And pitchers are very, very eccentric. And I mean that in the right way. I mean, the action doesn't start until they throw the ball. And something like this, if it were 20, 25 minutes, would not sit well with John Lackey or Justin Verlander.
Well, there are no creatures of habit in professional sports like a starting pitcher in Major League Baseball.
You're exactly right.
Let's get an update, if we can, from Aaron Andrews.
And I'm laughing because I'm looking at Joe Leland here smoking in the dugout. Well, Joe West has just told Jim Leland, and he's going to tell John Farrell to keep Justin Verlander and John Lackey in the dugout to warm up, because these lights have not come back on. They said a substation went down. It's back, but it's, like Tim said, going to take 15 to 20 minutes to get these lights powered up. So just saw Verlander walk up the stairs, kind of say, hey, what's going on? But they're going to be told, go back inside and warm up.
All right, well, it's not exactly a cold day. It's in the low 60s to start. But with the wind blowing in, it's a bit chilly. Now John Farrell, who was the pitching coach for Terry Francona for 4 years, from 2007 through 2010, and he's credited, along with pitching coach Juan Nieves, of turning a lot of these guys around and helping to guide Lackey back from his missed season in 2012, recovering from Tommy John surgery. It's kind of a two-person effort with these guys. Obviously, Farrell had a lot of them when he was in the pitching coach capacity for Francona. And so all we can do is sit and wait. These lights typically take a while to power back up, even when the power does come back. So we're told that it's going to be at least 13, 14, maybe 15 minutes before we'll get full power back. So while we wait, we'll take a commercial break. We're waiting for the bottom of the second. John Lackey can't wait to get back out there with Peralta, Avila, and Infante coming up. No score. Waiting for the lights here in Detroit. Take a break. Come back after this. All of the other scoreboards, really all the scoreboards now, are in working condition. We understand it could be 10+ minutes before the lights are powered back up. The lights are on because we're in that kind of in-between time, starting this game just after 4 o'clock local time. It's obviously a gray day. And so they started the game with the lights on, and they're going to wait till they come back to continue the game. And for more, let's go down to Ken Rosenthal.
Again, Joe, they're just waiting for the lights to come back fully on, expecting that to be about 15 to 20 minutes. And Joe West doesn't want anybody to do anything until those lights are fully on, just to make sure the pitchers don't get hot again while they are just waiting here. Now, Justin Verlander will be back, be given as much time to warm up as he needs. Same will go for John Lackey. Jim Leland just joking with me, saying, oh, I can't bring Verlander back. I'll bring Jose Alvarez in. But he was joking. Verlander will stay in this game.
Yeah, there's no question about that at this point. But until we see the lights starting to come back on, we'll just have to sit here and wait.
Yeah, if it takes an hour or so, then you have a different situation.
But what they're saying is about 15 minutes from the start to power them back up. While we wait here in Detroit, we're going to throw it back to the MLB Network studios and check back in with the guys, hoping that the lights come on. Matt Vasgersian, it's all yours.
All right, Joe, thanks. And we've been here watching in wonder along with you guys as to the strange goings-on in Detroit with A.J. Pierzynski, Sean Casey, Harold Reynolds, Matt Vasgersian. The question everybody asks when this thing happens, whether it's in a Super Bowl or in a postseason game in Major League Baseball, does it benefit one side more than another?
Well, I think right now you look at how Verlander's throwing the ball. He's on point. and Lackey was getting lit up a little bit early. So, hey, does it benefit somebody? Yeah, I think it benefits if it continues on. Right now, we're still in that zone where they both can come back on basically a normal routine as if an inning had just ended.
If you're sitting 35, 45 minutes, now we're talking about a totally different situation. Well, they're talking about 10, 15 minutes, hopefully get the lights back on. But you're right, H. That first inning, I mean, there were some hard-hit balls against Lackey, and Verlander had it going on, was throwing some good stuff up there, AJ.
Well, the biggest thing for me is they can go back out there. There's gigantic cages in Detroit.
Then he comes back right here, another heater away. You love Justin Verlander getting back to that fastball. Another heater right here. I think that's why he's been so effective as of late. But there it is right there, a little hanging, her curveball, a little slider. And, man, Gomes just missed going deep. But Verlander comes back and says, you know what, that's not going to happen again. This is going to happen. Throws another slider there in the outside part, but right here, there it is right there. Slider, 86, with that good downward action.
Yeah, Poppy had that base stolen, too.
Yeah, he did. Yeah. I tell you what, though, as a right-handed hitter, and you see him all of a sudden take off, it distracts you a little bit in that situation. But I think one of the reasons Verlander struggled so much early in the year was he was trying to figure out that new slider and all the different pitches. He seems to figure it out now, and he's got it rolling. That's why he's so dangerous.
Well, he also, early in the year, we faced him in May, and we hit him pretty well. And then we faced him in July, and we didn't hit him at all. But in May, his velocity was way down. He was trying to reach back, and there was no 95, 96, 97. He was reaching back. It was 91, 92. You look now, I mean, it must be nice to be able to go out there and say, man, I'm 88, 89 early in the game. All right, you got a hit, you got a guy on base. All right, guess what, guys? Here comes 100 after you.
And you
just reach back anytime he wants to do it.
You happen to be the foremost authority on Justin Verlander. There's only 2 guys that have faced Justin Verlander as often as you have. One of 3 guys to have faced Verlander as many as 75 plate appearances. And I'd like to ask you about that success. As the lights are coming back on, by the way, as soon as they resume play, of course, we'll get you back out to Joe and Tim, Aaron and Ken, and John Lackey will go back to work on the mound. Do you feel that when you face Verlander, the fact that he starts 92, 91, and then gets it up to closer to 100?
You better get him early, because if you don't get him early, he just continues to climb. He's the one guy I've ever faced that literally gets better and stronger as the game goes on. Better and better and better. But the thing about Verlander, his off-speed stuff is so good that you can sit on it, but in the back of your mind, there's always that little thing, 98.
All right, guys, we're getting closer and closer to the resumption of play in Detroit. Time for us to take a quick timeout. Baseball still to come. Back to Detroit in just a bit. The good news is the lights are back on as we send you back out to Joe Buck and Tim McCarver in Detroit.
All right, guys, thanks. Thanks, Matt, for filling time. A little bit more than a 15-minute delay. And let's go down to Aaron Andrews.
Well, Joe, that 16-minute delay we were hearing is because of a substation that went down across the street. We lost power here, and about 4 minutes ago, Joe West went over to John Farrell and said, pull John Lackey out, get him warmed up. I asked Farrell if there was any sort of concern about this delay, and he said no, it wasn't long enough. He's going to give himself enough time out there to get warmed up and ready to go.
Yeah, and Aaron, what we saw as Peralta digs in to lead off the bottom of this second inning with no score. Breaking ball is popped up foul right side. That'll get out of play. You noticed it, Tim. Lackey was obviously bothered. He's an intense guy, and kind of a high-strung starting pitcher. So he was pacing in the dugout, obviously frustrated. Then he was about ready to go a minute and a half ago, and Shane Victorino wasn't in right field, so he had to wait a little bit longer, and that got under his skin. So we'll see how he comes back after the delay. And obviously, when a pitcher has to wait 17 minutes during a delay in the dugout, he's used to going back out there with a lot of runs put up on the scoreboard by his team, just lighten up the scoreboard. It's a 0-0 game because the power went out. There's Victorino. He's there for out number 1.
I think you're dealing with a different John Lackey, too. I think 10 years ago, this would have upset him to no end and perhaps affected his performance. I think he's matured to the point where that's not going to happen anymore.
Here's Avila digging his way in, 3 out of 7. He homered in game 2. And one little side note that I liked, it's not a big deal, but during that delay, the umpires, the players left, but the umpires never left the field.
Yeah.
And I think it gave you kind of the sense that we were just around the corner from restarting. And if we know the story, that's one thing. But I think it's important for the fans here at Comerica to know that the umpires are still out on the field. They're not back in their dressing room, kicking back, sitting down, that it wasn't going to be that long of a delay. And in the end, a 17-minute delay before the start of the bottom of the second. First pitch, a strike. The next from Lackey is strike 2. Avila hit .227 during the regular season. Trying to get on in front of Omar Infante. Peralta flying to right. Avila hitting 7th. Looks at ball 1.
Alex Avila's father, Al Avila, is the assistant general manager of the Tigers. And we saw Al in the clubhouse, the Tiger clubhouse, before the game. And of course, Alex Avila's grandfather, the famous Ralph Avila, former scout of the Dodgers, who signed Pedro Martinez, Ramon Martinez, Raul Mondesi, over 40 great Dodger players. Now he's 84 years old and lives west of Fort Lauderdale, watching the game and having a ball watching his son play in the postseason.
Jose Offerman is on that list. Mariano Duncan.
Yep.
He was the Dodgers' go-to guy for talent in the Caribbean. And Alex has developed into a very good defensive catcher. He popped a home run in game 2. He's tough. He's battled his way through injuries the last couple of seasons. As we mentioned on Sunday night, he's as fresh now at the end of the year as he's been over the last 3. He feels good. Here's a 2-2. Laid off, ball 3. Was 0-2, now it's 3-2. With Infante next. Shift on the infield for Avila. Left side of the infield. Pretty wide open as he strikes out, and that's strikeout number 1 for John Lackey. So we know Lackey's side of it. How about the Detroit starter Justin Verlander? Let's go down to Ken Rosenthal.
Well, Joe West told us before that each starting pitcher would have as much time as he needs to warm up. I don't expect Verlander was going to take it. He just came into the dugout a few minutes ago, got his glove, and is down underneath, presumably throwing right now.
Yeah, we heard A.J. Pierzynski during the break, during the 17-minute delay, talk about the cages here with full mounds in the cages. So these newer stadiums, this is the 14th year they've played at Comerica here in Detroit. You know, it's different than a ballpark like at Fenway that was built in 1912. They've got more room. They build underground facilities for these players to use, and Verlander able to do really anything he wanted during the break to try and keep his body loose. We plan on visiting with Doug Fister, tomorrow night starter, during the top of the 3rd. Might get a little more of an insight into what the Tigers were doing during that quick break. 2-1. And not to act like it was that long of a delay, 17 minutes. Just a wrinkle. 2 out, nobody on. Here's a 2-1. 2-2.
Lackey seems sharper than he did in the bottom of the 1st. Pitches were up in the bottom of the 1st. 2 hits, no runs. 3 flyouts to the outfield.
Now a 2-2. So Lackey comes off the delay and has a perfect 2nd inning with 2 strikeouts. And we go into the 3rd inning here in Detroit. No score in Game 3. And more, you can be part of next season's team. Go to MLBFanCave.com and apply now. We go into the third inning of Game 3. There is no score. Red Sox have had only one base runner. A leadoff walk to Ortiz last inning. Then 3 consecutive strikeouts, and there was no power in the batter's box or in the substation. Lights went out, 17-minute delay, and now we're in the third inning. Stephen Drew first up, took a strike, and now the next from Verlander fouled back. Doug Fister gets the ball tomorrow night against Jake Peavy in Game 4. There's Doug wearing a headset. What'd you do during the break?
I was up there getting a little coffee and, just trying to keep everybody loose, trying to make sure that everybody had what they need to stay warm and get back out here in a timely fashion.
What specifically did Verlander do? Did you check in on him?
He was sitting there locked in. He likes to listen to some tunes, and I think that's what he did. He made sure he got his jacket on and kind of just zoned out for a minute, stay focused.
Not that there's any pressure on you, Doug, but I don't know if you've watched the first 2+ games of this ALCS. The other starters have done pretty darn well.
Yes, to say the least. Between Max and Anibal and now Burr, he's throwing well tonight. But I saw the number 2 for 41 or whatever it was. Hey,
that's going in. It's 2 for 47 now.
Okay, well, it's going up, and there's definitely some pressure there. But hey, I'm a ground ball guy. I know I'm going to give up my hits, but it's going to. The goal is to come out with the W at the end of the day. So just got to continue with what we have and stay stay on schedule, stay planned.
Here's another strikeout. That's 4 straight for Verlander, and 1 out here in the third inning. Hey, have you noticed anything different with Justin Verlander in September and now here in October? Because if the stuff was ever gone, it's certainly back now ×2.
He's throwing the ball extremely well right now. He's really locked in. There for a while, he was struggling with a couple pitches. I think it was just a little mechanical here and there. But he's really back. He's turned it up right now, and he's really dialed in. He's throwing quality strikes at all times, and really has done his homework for coming into a game.
Here's Middlebrooks, takes a strike.
Doug, Jim Leyland was telling us that it's very important for Justin Verlander to have a stiff left leg on delivery. Would you explain, and it appears he does tonight, first time through the lineup. Would you explain to our audience what a stiff front leg does for a pitcher?
Being able to have that stiff front leg enables you to get out front, really reach out and finish out in front. For a non-baseball person, that means you're really finishing. Everything that you do as a pitcher really depends on that last few inches of release point and the late movement, the sharpness of your breaking ball, whatever it is. Those kind of things really come forward right at that last few 6 inches of release point. So for him to get that stiff left leg out there, he really throws through the ball and really can finish. He has something to actually work off of.
Jake Peavy was saying that Verlander is the envy of every starting pitcher because he seems to have something in reserve where he can crank it up to the upper 90s when he needs it.
He definitely has that next level, next gear, whatever you want to call it. But he, whether it's the 6th inning or the 9th inning, he can crank it up 94 to 98, 99 whenever he needs to, and he does it when he needs to, and that's something that not too many pitchers have, and he's really got that talent. He's really learned how to utilize it to the best of his ability.
Do you know how many strikeouts in a row that is right there? That's 5.
That's 5.
And now Jacoby Ellsbury. I was going to throw you a lifeline there. Jacoby Ellsbury digs his way in. Good luck tomorrow night. We understand you're an amateur photographer and you got some good shots from the press box at Fenway the other day.
I definitely surprised some press and people up front. Probably am not allowed to be up there, but you know what? I took advantage of it. We get the opportunity to go places that most people don't. I want to take photos of it. I'm still definitely a rookie in that category, but I want to remember some of these days.
Well, that's all right. John Lowe is going to eat in the players' lounge after the game just because of that.
Oh, I'm sure.
One of the good guys in the game. Hey, good luck tomorrow night. Have some fun.
Thank you very much, guys.
All right, Doug Pfister. As the count's gone to 1-1 on Jacoby Ellsbury. Pfister, who was a Seattle Mariner, 7th-round pick in 06, came up in 09, was struggling, but it wasn't because of his stuff. He was traded to Detroit in 2011, went 8-1 the rest of the season that year with the Tigers, 2-1 that postseason. And you may not be aware of just how talented he is and how good his pitching stuff is.
Well, you got that right. Meanwhile, another talented guy, Jacoby Ellsbury, has not gotten the ball out of the infield so far in this LCS.
Rounded out to third, his first time he's set up here at 1-2. Struck out 6 in a row. And every time these guys pitch, they make you dig through the record books. He's tied a major league record with his efforts in Game 3. Bottom of the third. No score in Detroit.
I love October.
And why not? He has not allowed a run this October. He has not allowed a run in his past 31 innings overall. And he has now struck out 6 in a row, which ties a postseason record. 7 others have done it. We'll deal with Victorino to start the 4th. No score. Bottom of the 3rd inning in the count 0-2 on Andy Dirks. Not only is he great at what he does, he has fun while he does it.
Great sense of humor. Funny.
Dirks getting his first start of this LCS. He's 0 for 3 so far this postseason. Hit .256 this season, .322 a year ago. The 1-2. Strikeout for Lackey, and that's 3 in a row for John Lackey.
That's the best curveball that Lackey has thrown thus far. Look at that. Bottom fell out of it.
The great pitching is not only happening in the ALCS, it's happening on the other side in the NLCS.
It is remarkable. 3 shutouts, just being the 6th game.
Over the first 5 games, a combined ERA of 1.81 across the 2 league championship series. Here's a strike to Austin Jackson. And a reminder, for coverage of this game in Spanish, please tune into Fox Deportes. There you go. This is coming into today. There are the numbers. Not much hitting, tight games. That makes for thrilling October baseball. Coming into this afternoon, Game 4 of the NLCS on TBS is tonight. Here's a foul out of play right side. And the count 1-2.
And you think about the NLCS, Joe. You had Greinke going in Game 1. You figured the edge is for the Dodgers against the Cardinals. They lose. You have Clayton Kershaw going in Game 2. Edge to the Dodgers. They lose again. And last night, with Wainwright going for the Cardinals, edge to Cardinals, and they lose to the Dodgers. So Verlander no lock today by any means.
Here's another strikeout, and that's 4 straight for John Lackey. We mentioned it, Game 4 tonight of the NLCS between the Cardinals and Dodgers. St. Louis up 2-1. It's at 8 Eastern on TBS. And then tomorrow, the Red Sox and Tigers will be right back here in Detroit. Game 4 here on Fox at 7:30 Eastern. Don't miss a minute of the action all postseason. Ryu was so good last night. He's on a list with Drysdale, Koufax, and Hershiser for what he accomplished last night in going to 7 innings and shutting down and shutting out Cardinal offense. There's a strike on the outside corner to Torrey Hunter.
Oral Hershiser, Sandy Koufax, Don Drysdale. We've said it before. Baseball royalty.
Talk about Tommy John surgery for John Lackey. Shouldn't assume people know what Tommy John surgery is. Where they take a ligament, usually from the off wrist. In this case, it would be Lackey's left wrist, and implant it into the pitching elbow. Now Lackey's got Hunter set up for his 5th consecutive strikeout. Tommy John had that surgery in September of 1974. Groundbreaking surgery and commonplace in the game today. They have to rehabilitate, and that rehabilitation takes a year.
It's a lot quicker, and young pitchers obviously come back stronger. John Lackey 34, so it's understandable that it was weaker, his right arm.
Here's Pedroia inning over. Lackey is on 2. Let's go to the 4th inning, game 3 of this ALCS. A good one. No score. Red Sox and Tigers. Responsibility. What's your policy? By the Samsung Galaxy Note 3 and Galaxy Gear. 4th inning. Good pitching. Good game. Back to work. Justin Verlander. He has retired 6 in a row and struck out 6 in a row. Victorino hit a soft liner to second his first time up. Outside ball 1. Here's a 1-0. Strike 1. Time for the T-Mobile player profile. We look at Verlander and what he's done this postseason over his 3 starts now. Brought to you by T-Mobile. Nationwide data is going global with coverage in over 100 countries at no extra charge. Here's a 1-1. Jammed him. The string of strikeouts is over, but not outs. 7 straight and 1 out here in the 4th. That'll bring in Dustin Pedroia.
The major league record for strikeouts consecutively during a season held by Tom Seaver, who struck out 10 back in the early 70s, 10 in a row. And don't talk pitch count with Tom Seaver. He does not want to hear it. Tom, by the way, gracing the cover of Wine Spectator for November. And I had a meeting with Tom, a lunch and a meeting just to say hello, renew a friendship of long standing. 7 hours long. And we talked about pitching about a month ago.
Here's a high fly ball into left field. Dirks is there. 2 out.
Tom said that basically there are 3 elements of pitching: velocity, movement, and location. The least of which in importance is velocity. And pitch counts affect velocity, but rarely movement and location. Stop babying pitchers with strict adherence to pitch counts. That's a quote from Tom Seaver. And it makes him mad when you talk about it. And I don't blame him.
Strike 1 on David Ortiz.
I mean, that's Tom Seaver talking.
Right.
Tom's listening to our game tonight and laughing right now.
You talked about more than pitching for 7 hours. You're not going to sell me on that. Here's a fly ball into left center. Back is Dirks at the wall. Out to end the inning. Andy Dirks almost flush up against the fence on a cold day in Detroit. Hauls it in. Ortiz is retired. 9 straight for Verlander. No score into the bottom of the 4th. A lot of zeros up on the scoreboard as we go to the bottom of the 4th inning. Pitching has been good again here this afternoon and into the early evening. Swing as Cabrera tried to check it. It's 0-1 as they appealed to Alfonso Marquez.
A bit too far. You know, the minute those zeros were flashed on the screen, I thought this might be the biggest zero changer that I've seen in some time.
Talking about Miguel Cabrera, who with one flick can change the scoreboard. Now he's in the hole 0-2. We had a chance to visit with Jake Peavy, who gets the ball for the Red Sox tomorrow night. He'll take on Doug Fister. So we spoke with Fister earlier, and being fair and balanced, we will hear from the other side here in the 4th. 1-2 the count on Cabrera. 2 first-inning hits against Lackey, and that's it. He's been good. And a strikeout starts the inning. That's the 5th for Lackey. Here is Jake Peavy, and the first question was about what he's doing in preparation for his start tomorrow night.
Yeah, I hadn't been down on the bench much. Been up in the video room watching some video and getting some treatment, and obviously watching the game on television. But the day before start, you know, you're getting in that mindset, getting that final game plan tuned in.
Jake, I hope you don't think this is a weird question, but John Farrell told us that Clay Buchholz, because he picked the guitar, it made his fingers stronger. Did it make yours stronger?
You know, I don't know if it made them stronger. I certainly think that there might be a correlation between the feel that you have with all your different fingers. I think John's kind of referring to the feel that Clay has. Clay's got an amazing feel of what he can do with the baseball. And he was kind of making that relation, asking me if I felt that playing guitar helped me with the feel with all my different pitches.
You've been at this a long time, Jake. You've been with the Padres. You've been with the White Sox. Now you're with the Boston Red Sox in an ALCS. Can anything compare to what you're going through right now?
No, this is something I've never experienced, and had to wait 12 years for it to happen. I've been to the playoffs a few times, but never anything this intense, and I couldn't ask for a better group of guys, and I'm thankful for Ben Cherington and the rest of the front office for making the move and allowing me to be a part.
Well, get your rest tonight and go get them tomorrow.
I appreciate it, guys.
All right, Jake. Thanks, Jake. Acquired July the 3rd, and he takes on Doug Fister, who's picked up a couple of seasons ago from Seattle. 2 good right-handers hooking up tomorrow night in Game 4. Fielder chops it foul, and while we glow about Verlander, he brings with him just incredible stuff. I think you have to be really impressed with the pitching of John Lackey so far here in Game 3.
No question about it. And again, he's retired 7 in a row since the power outage.
He's had these hitters off balance. He's putting pitches in the spots he wants. He gets Fielder on the ground out, and it's 2 out, nobody on here in the 4th. Lackey's not going to light up a radar gun like he maybe once did. But he knows how to pitch. And a guy who's never won a road playoff game in his big league career is matching zeros with Verlander.
The one thing about John, his curveball in the first inning was high. Everything was like lazy. Since the power outage, you know, he's retired 8 in a row, and his curveball has just been sensational. He got Fielder on the curve for that ground out.
There's one there for strike 1. So you're saying John Lackey is to a postseason power outage like the San Francisco 49ers are to a power outage during the postseason?
Well, I guess you could make that correlation, yes. After their 34-minute power outage in New Orleans.
Here's one the opposite way. Nice true hop from Middlebrooks, and another perfect inning for Lackey. Good work, Lackey, Verlander. Red Sox, Tigers, no score after 4. Back after this from your local Fox station. Straight scoreless innings this postseason, and 32 straight overall dating back to the regular season. Napoli first up. Takes ball 1. That to go along with 27 strikeouts. Napoli started the string of 6 straight strikeouts for Verlander when he struck out in the second. Good tailing fastball for strike 1. But still hovering in the mid-90s is Verlander here at the start. On deck is Saltalamacchia, then Johnny Gomes. Napoli trying to get something started. He got his major league career started with the first major league at bat home run against Verlander back in 06.
It wasn't on a pitch like that either, but a breaking ball.
That was the year Verlander would win Rookie of the Year. Breaking ball stays up. The count 2-2. Beard for Napoli has been growing since spring training. And he is a strikeout victim for the second time in game 3. To give you this game's Dodge Durango trivia question: who holds the longest consecutive scoreless inning streak by a pitcher in a single postseason? 19 1/3 put up by Verlander so far this year. 7 strikeouts now for the Tiger right-hander. Bases empty for Saltalamacchia. Outside ball 1. Jared's been pretty hot with the bat since the end of June 29th. He's hit .288. 6 of his 14 home runs, 38 of his 65 RBIs. 94-mile-per-hour fastball by his bat. 1 ball, 1 strike.
There's that high fastball again to left-handed batters. Verlander has featured that in the early to mid innings here in the postseason against Oakland, and tonight again.
There it is again.
Catch me if you can.
Switch hitter digs back in, set up at a ball and 2 strikes. Two and 2.
Back-to-back strikeouts start the 5th.
And again, up and away to left-handed batters. In Oakland, game 5, changeup away, fastball away, fastball away, fastball away. Is that repetitive? Today, fastball away, fastball away. And the last strikeout and his 8th of the game, fastball away.
8 strikeouts on the day for Verlander. He now deals with Gomes, who came close to a 2-run home run back in the second.
We have talked about that, Joe, during the season, about how, in my opinion, the fastball up and away is the toughest pitch for a left-hander to hit of all the areas and quadrants, right-hander and left-hander.
Good curveball strike. A 1-ball, 1-strike count with 2 out, nobody on.
So if that's the case, you might think, well, why doesn't a right-handed pitcher throw it in that area more often? The reason is it's tough to get a called strike with that pitch up and away to left-handed batters.
Jammed him a bit. Foul ball. Avila with room running out. And Rafael Belliard 2 steps down in the Tiger dugout staring at him. Pulled up.
Now the rule of thumb is when you're going near a fence, try to get to the fence as quickly as you can, and then if you have to, back off. That ball really didn't have a lot of hang time. I don't think Alex could get there in time.
This crowd wants to see strikeout number 9. Instead, it's Peralta to his left, and an infield base hit, possibly for Gomes. I would think that's the way they'd go.
Oh, yeah.
Fielder couldn't dig it out. Peralta may have had a shot. The throw bounced in. And Gomes is safe as Fielder couldn't dig it.
Savoring a hit. Guys will do anything. Bruise heels, stretch hamstrings.
It's a big deal, and it gets a reaction here at Comerica because it is a hit and the first one for the Red Sox in this game against Verlander.
Yeah, if you're being fair, though, that's a base hit.
No doubt. Yeah. But we're not taking anything for granted. I'm with you, though. That it would have taken a perfect play.
Yeah.
And the Tigers couldn't get it from Peralta or Fielder. Stephen Drew at the plate, struck out his first time. And takes a strike over the outside corner. Jose Iglesias probably has a better shot on a ball like that.
Good point.
But it's Peralta in the lineup because of his bat. Iglesias can get to that ball quicker. And Peralta would tell you that. Jim Leland will tell you that. It's a base hit, 2 out, and now an 0-2 count on Stephen Drew. Pitch was up, and Drew fouled it straight back. So there you go. The first hit brings us to this graphic.
That's unbelievable.
It started with Verlander in Game 5 of the division series. Sanchez, Scherzer, Verlander here in Game 3. With their no-hit efforts, deepest one was Verlander into the 7th with 2 out in Oakland. Right at Infante. Scoreless through 4.5. This crowd loving it in Detroit. Tigers coming to bat against Lackey, no score. Chevy Silverado. Lackey's allowed only 2 hits. He struck out 5. And he's retired 10 straight. It'll be Peralta, Avila, and Infante against the right-hander John Lackey. Missing with ball 1. Peralta flied to right his first time up. That's foul. Lackey was a second-round pick by the Angels in '99. Won 19 games in 2007. Signed with the Red Sox before the 2010 season. Here's a 1-1. That's foul again. 3 different postseasons Lackey pitched against the Red Sox. In 07 when Boston won it all. In 08 and 09. As we said, he missed all of last year. Rehabbing from Tommy John surgery. He's got Peralta set up at a ball and 2 strikes. Two and 2.
Johnny Peralta has proven once again in this series that his hitting slot is up. All 4 hits that he has against the Red Sox, up and in. They're going away here.
He goes into left center field. This ball's going to get down and go to the wall. Peralta's digging into second with a leadoff double.
It was a fastball away, but not far enough away. You can see Lackey upset with himself. Too much of the plate to Johnny Peralta. Thigh high, and a double to lead off the inning. Right on the sweep spot of the bat. John Lackey wanted that ball more outside, and he didn't get it there.
And so Peralta now 5 for 10 in this LCS. 10 for 22 in the postseason. Here's Avila. Struck out his first time. Ball 1 inside. Avila trying to at least advance the runner. Infante on deck. Alex 3 for 8 against the Red Sox in the LCS. Good pitch from Lackey, strike 1. Two and 1. Foul for strike 2.
John Lackey has done an excellent job throwing that curveball behind in the count. Think about this sequence. Alex Avila, fastball missed inside, then the curveball for a strike, fastball missed outside, then the curveball in for a strike.
Lackey has struck out 5. He'd love number 6 right here. Shattered bat. Runner advances. 1 out. Peralta to third as Avila does his job.
And Boston almost forced to bring their infield in because they're facing Justin Verlander. Fastball jams Avila, splintering that bat. That bat died a warrior.
Still able to move Peralta, and the infield does come in. Peralta does not have great speed. The batter is Infante.
You know what, Joe? You don't have to go all the way in because Peralta's not a fast runner. If you play him halfway, you cut down the angle for a base hit. And on a relatively hard hit ball, you're still going to get Johnny Peralta.
They're pretty well in. Ball 1 to Infante. Omar Infante came up with the Tigers in 2002. He's been with the Cubs, the Braves, Miami. He's traded here from the Marlins with Anibal Sanchez last July. Filled what was a need spot for the Tigers for quite a while, second base, ever since Polanco left. Runner at third, one out. Strike one.
There's that curveball behind in the count. It's served Lackey well so far. Good one.
Double by Peralta. Avila moved him over. Infield is in. Here comes a 1-1. Just outside. It didn't tail back enough. Ball 2.
I am sure that Tom Brookins, the third base coach, is telling Johnny Peralta to make the ball go through. Any ground ball, make it go through to the outfield before you go home. Peralta's simply not fast enough to go on contact.
Good pitch, strike 2. Infante chased it. Runner at third, one out. 2-2 pitch. Lackey goes further away, and that's ball 3.
Third base coach, however, will give the runner the option on a high chopper. Use your own judgment.
Breaking ball foul. Talk about pitching backward, and when Lackey, as you said, needs a good pitch, is behind on the count, or in this case 3-2, it's been the curveball.
Yes, sir.
Infante just got a piece of that last one. Breaking ball, foul ball. And that one hung up. Infante pulled the trigger too soon. Two out. Another curveball from Lackey and strikeout number 6. That's his biggest pitch of the day to this point.
You talk about a savvy job by John Lackey and Jared Saltalamacchia. The 1-0 pitch, curveball. And the fastball misses. 2 balls and a strike. So it's 2-2. Outside, full count. Fouled off. A bullet fouled off. Another breaking ball to Getty.
Runner at third, 2 out. Dirks chops one to the right side. Napoli's got to get to the bag, and he does in time. Lackey's fired up, and he gets around the leadoff double by Peralta. Game number 3 goes into the 6th inning in Detroit. Scoreless. And by T-Mobile, Unleash. 6th inning rolls in Game 3. And there is no score. Good pitching by Verlander, good pitching by Lackey. Here is the number 9 man, Will Middlebrooks, first up, then Ellsbury, then Victorino. Middlebrooks struck out his first time. Ball 1. Ellsbury, such a big reason why the Red Sox finished with the best record in the American League. They were the number 1 seed, and a big reason why they got past Tampa Bay is hitless in this series. There's a strike.
It's just about that point in the game where Justin Verlander starts turning it up. Mile or 2 miles an hour faster than the early innings.
Here's the 1-1. Breaking ball is flied into center, right at Jackson. 1 out. Let's look out to the scoreboard here at Comerica for our game summary. Game 1. Anibal Sanchez, 6 no-hit innings, 12 strikeouts, brilliantly pitched game, the 1-0 win. Game 2, Sunday night, the Red Sox win. Ortiz ties it with a grand slam in the 8th inning. They win it in the 9th. Game 3, the 2 starters. The numbers for Verlander, 5 1/3, 1 hit, 8 strikeouts. Lackey matching him. 5 innings, 6 strikeouts, no runs, 3 hits. With 1 out, here's Ellsbury. Kobe is struck out, grounded out. The top 2 guys in this lineup, Victorino on deck, and we'll see him here in the 6th. They're a combined 1 for 17. With 9 strikeouts.
It's amazing that the same 2 teams, same game being played, of course, this afternoon, but on Sunday, that raucous finish, the grand slam home run, the way it ended in the bottom of the 9th, and today the pastoral quiet among the crowd.
That's strike 2.
It's as quiet today and tonight as it was raucous on Sunday.
Good pitching will do that to a crowd.
It certainly will.
We've seen it from both right-handers here in Game 3. Ellsbury hops out. He's set up at a ball and 2 strikes. That's chopped foul.
Well, there have not been a lot of balls hit loudly tonight. Look at that. There have been 57 outs recorded by Tigers pitching. 33 of the 57 outs have been strikeouts. About what? 65 to 70%. It's extraordinary.
With 1 out, nobody on, the 1-2 pitch is into center field, and Ellsbury's got his first hit of this ALCS. Now 1 for 9. And this is where he can use his speed.
Absolutely. I was thinking the same thing, Joe. It's not that the Red Sox got a guy on base, but who is on base.
He stole 52 during the regular season, was caught only 4 times. For a team that did a lot of running from the top of their lineup. It includes Victorino, who now is in that spot. Former switch hitter where he bats right-handed against Verlander, and he has to read what Ellsbury's doing as much as Verlander has to read what Ellsbury is doing during this at-bat.
And Victorino can do that better as a right-handed hitter than he could as a left-hander, because left-handers obviously can't see the guy on first base. Remember, Verlander has very quick feet and a fast move for a big man to first.
Curveball drops in, strike one. Victorino's lined out. It wasn't hard hit, fouled out. And this game going on as Brian Butterfield goes through the signs at third. Ellsbury reads him. Victorino reads him. Check on Jacoby Ellsbury. Up and in. If Ellsbury can get to second, Victorino so far this postseason is 6 for 8 with runners in scoring position.
Catcher Alex Avila threw out only 12% of those trying to steal this year. You can almost understand it. You have power, right-handed arms. The Tigers don't have a left-handed starter, so it's a lot tougher on catchers with right-handers than left-handers.
Two straight throws over by Justin Verlander. Previous one, Ellsbury hadn't even left the base yet. Jacoby has 4 stolen bases this postseason. He starts and stops on a strike, and it's 1-2.
Victorino thought that pitch was a little high. See, that's what a fake break at first base will do to a right-handed batter. He sees him break. Now he takes the pitch and he stops. I think Ellsbury's kind of second-guessing himself, saying, I should have maybe kept going then. And then Victorino, of course, could hit with 2 strikes. No more protecting the runner by Victorino.
Arnie Baylor, the first base coach, saying stay aggressive. And that's 3 times during this sequence. Verlander's thrown over and Ellsbury's standing on the bag. I mean, he's not even really letting him get his lead.
Mixing up, throwing over, trying to deliver it home quick enough for Avila to get off a good throw if Ellsbury runs.
Victorino flies one into left. Dirks is back. 2 out. Ellsbury tags but goes back to the bag. It's been interesting to watch Verlander and Ellsbury. And I mentioned that he's thrown over there 3 times before Ellsbury's even left the base to take his lead. Ellsbury's late getting into position.
That's right.
To take off for second base when the pitch is being delivered.
And his lead is not as big as it normally would be had Verlander not thrown over there. Because Ellsbury has momentum going back to the bag, first base, more than he does to the bag at second base, like that. And he doesn't care. I mean, you know, the home fans will never boo a pitcher for throwing over. I mean, he could throw over there 500 times. He'd get no boos from this crowd. What's my time? In other words, how fast am I getting the ball to home plate? What a great shot. Asking Jeff Jones, the pitching coach. monitoring his time, getting the ball home.
Strike one on Pedroia.
Put that on the list that nobody's seen before. Have you ever seen that? I haven't. A pitcher being cognizant enough to ask the pitching coach about his time going to home plate. Talk about a man who is aware on that bump.
One ball, one strike on Pedroia. 1 on, 2 out. That's foul, and that's strike 2. Another thing Verlander did a moment ago on that fly ball hit by Victorino. He's yelling to let his infielders know at second base that Ellsbury was tagging on that fly ball to left center. Pedroia waits. The 1-2 bounces away, and Ellsbury down to second on a wild pitch.
So it took a wild pitch to get him to second base instead of a stolen base. Not a lot Avila can do. This ball in the dirt, tries to block it. The minute it went in the dirt, Ellsbury took off.
Well, the guy who is the heart and soul of this Red Sox team, Dustin Pedroia, former MVP. He was with the team when they won it all in 2007, trying to drive home the game's first run. Right at Peralta. Scoreless. Into the bottom of the 6th. Here in game 3. Brooklyn 9-9, New Girl, and the Mindy Project. It's all part of the new Fox Tuesday starting at 8 Eastern, 7 Central, right here. Top of the order for the Tigers, scoreless game. Austin Jackson takes the ball. Austin's lined out to right, struck out. Followed by Torrey Hunter, Miguel Cabrera. Bottom of the 6th inning. A 1-0 pitch. 2-0. Lackey has now walked the batter, struck out 6. He's allowed only 1 hit since the 1st inning. That was a leadoff double last inning. He got around it. Boy, he's been good. He's put pitches in spots right where he's wanted to.
He really has.
2-1 the count. Now 2-2.
He's pitching to the outfield right now, with Ellsbury moved over toward right field, and Shane Victorino toward the line in right. Those 2 fastballs away, hoping that Hunter would hit the ball into his defense.
A lot of room in left center.
Yep.
A strikeout starts the inning. Number 7 for Lackey. And he came back from a 2-0 count to get Jackson.
3 straight strikes, 2 curveballs, and a cutter.
Now Torrey Hunter, who has one of the 3 Tiger hits in this game. Hunter got one in the first. Fielder had one with 2 out. A leadoff double by Peralta last inning. That's it. That's foul. Not a bad idea. 38-year-old Torrey Hunter, who somehow was able to continue in that game, and then even after the off day of rest, answer the bell. 38 years old after that tumble he took over the wall at full speed at Fenway Park on Sunday night. Here's the 0-1 from Lackey. Fouled back. Let's go down to Aaron Andrews.
Joe, Sunday night wasn't the first time Torrey Hunter has been injured trying to catch a Big Papi home run. He said in 2005 he went back in the right field to catch a home run that Big Papi hit. And he said he planted his foot on the wall in right field, right in the corner. He ended up breaking his ankle because his body went the other way. He said he went to the X-ray room. Guess who came to see him? His best friend, Big Papi. Said the guy is trying to kill me out there.
Here's the 0-2 pitch, down and away, ball 1.
Well, in a sense, immacabrely, it must run in the family because Torrey's son, Torrey Hunter Jr., is going to Notre Dame as a football freshman and broke his leg this year and is out.
Here is a 1-2 pitch. Strikeout number 8. And that good John Lackey curveball brings up Torrey Hunter.
Well, I'll tell you, that curveball has served him well tonight. To give you an idea of how much that thing breaks, our guys in the truck have come up with a beauty. I mean, the higher the top, the bigger the drop.
The 8 strikeouts, a new postseason career high for Lackey. Now Cabrera comes up empty, and Lackey still in the low 90s. Boy, has he answered it tonight for the Red Sox. And answering Verlander. 1 ball, 1 strike. Base is empty for Cabrera, who homered Sunday night. Getting it by him up and away. Strike 2, and here's the break of the Lackey curveball.
To Victor Martinez earlier, the higher the top, the bigger the drop. That's what Detroit hitters have had to face all night.
He stayed with hard stuff so far to Cabrera. Count 2-2. Fielder on deck.
Doesn't matter whether there are 2 strikes on Cabrera or not. He goes to right field often with 2 strikes and with power.
Pops it up on the right side. Playable for Napoli. More pitching. How about game 3? Nothing into the 7th inning. Red Sox coming up, big bats. Ortiz will lead it off. Back after this from your local Fox station. Second inning for 17 minutes as a substation went out, so we had a power outage. Pitching is just dominated. Yet again, 5 hits total. The Tigers have 3 of the 5, but Lackey has matched Verlander. John and Justin. Here's David Ortiz. Ortiz, Napoli, Saltalamacchia. The shift on the infield for the Tigers, playing David Ortiz to pull. There are some teams that leave the left side of the diamond basically completely clear. But in a 0-0 game with this much on the line, I don't think you can just leave a hole that big over there, because it wouldn't be beyond David Ortiz to just get on base any way he could.
By bunting to the left side ever so occasionally this year.
He pops it up. Foul ball. It will get out of play. Strike 2. In a game dominated by pitching, that is by far, for the Boston Red Sox, their hardest hit ball against Verlander when Ortiz flied to deep left center in the 4th. 0 for 1. He walked his first time up. Verlander has struck out 8, and that's Peralta on the other side of the bag. 1 out. Look at the numbers for the Tigers starters in this series.
Just sick. I mean, sick.
19 in the third innings pitched. Red Sox hitting .065 against him. Only 4 hits allowed. 33 strikeouts in under 20 innings pitched. Here's Napoli. Mike has struck out twice. With 1 out, a ball and a strike. Strike 2. Let's go back to May 4th, 2006. Here in Detroit, Mike Napoli, first major league at bat off Justin Verlander, the home run. The first run in a 7-2 win for the Angels. The year Verlander was 17-9 and was the rookie of the year. Counts 2-2. So that's how Mike Napoli burst into the big leagues with a home run in May of '06 here in Detroit. Full count. High fly ball to left center. Back at the wall. The Red Sox have taken the lead. Napoli gets Verlander here in the 7th.
For the second strike, it was a fastball up around the letters. Verlander liked the call of Alex Avila. A fastball on a 3-2 count. Almost the same place where we showed Napoli hitting his first home run of his career in his first at bat on a curveball. My gosh.
Now Santalamacchia. Strike 1.
Talk about the power of suggestion. Fastball. 1-0 Boston.
With 1 out. Strike 2 on Santalamacchia.
96-mile-an-hour fastball. And Napoli got all of it.
With 1 out, nobody on, and a run home. Ball 1 in the dirt to Santalamacchia. Now 2-2. Prior to that at bat, Mike Napoli in this ALCS was 0 for 6 with 6 strikeouts and a walk. Here's the 2-2. Santalamacchia strikes out, 2 down.
Santalamacchia down. That home run, by the way, broke a streak of 34 1/3 innings of scoreless ball. Continuous scoreless ball pitched by that man right there.
He has had no margin for error in this game because of the work of John Lackey on the other side.
Right.
Trying to get through the 7th inning now, dealing with Gomes, who's 1 for 2. Takes a strike. It took until the 5th inning for the Red Sox to get their first hit. It takes until the 7th inning for the Red Sox to get their first run. But they lead by 1 as a curveball falls in for strike 2. Breaking ball is chopped to third. It's a foul ball. Ball 1 from Verlander. Gomes almost hit a 2-run shot back in the 2nd. It just hooked foul down the line. He singled in the 5th. 3 hits today for the Red Sox, including the Napoli home run. Pop foul back behind the plate. Still 1-2. Another one out of play as Gomes makes Verlander work here in the 7th. In the bottom of the inning, it'll be the 4, 5, and 6 hitters for Detroit. Fielder, Victor Martinez, and Johnny Peralta. At the moment, there is no activity for the Red Sox out in their pen with the way Lackey has worked. Again, the 1-2 struck him out looking, but damage is done. It's Napoli getting Verlander, and this one carrying more weight than a May home run back in 2006 for Napoli's first major league hit. A run is on the board. It belongs to the Red Sox as we stretch here in Detroit. Preferred card of Major League Baseball since 1997. Slip into the bottom of the 7th inning. Here in Game 3, 1-0, Red Sox on top. After the game and all night long with NLCS Game number 4 coming up. MLB Network has all the highlights and breakdowns from the award-winning analysts of MLB Tonight. All the postseason drama all in one place. Go to MLBnetwork.com for schedule and channel number. Here's the Geico in-game box score for the Boston Red Sox in this series. The low averages, all the strikeouts, but in the yellow, the only swing that today matters to this point, the home run by Napoli, which has given John Lackey a 1-0 7th inning lead.
There have been some lonely bases out there tonight. Not a lot of human beings on them.
Well, here is Prince Fielder. has no RBIs, let alone home runs, over his last 14-plus postseason games. Craig Breslow is the left-hander getting loose.
Three base runners for the Tigers tonight.
There's another good Lackey breaking ball for strike one. Fielder in that 4-game sweep by the Giants in the World Series last October did not have an RBI. He's trying to get on to start this inning, and this is caught by Johnny Gomes in left, one away.
That ball did not have a lot of hang time. Gomes had a great jump and makes a nice play. Saw the catch. Here's the jump. Tailing away from him. Good play.
Lackey appreciates it. He has 6 1/3 now. Scoreless. Fielder 1 for 3 in the game, and here's Victor Martinez, who has hit 1 home run this postseason. It was a big one, a game tire in Game 4 here at Comerica against the A's in the division series. Peralta next. Right back up the middle. Tying run is on here in the 7th on a base hit by Victor Martinez.
Looks like Victor was waiting for that curveball then. Lackey has made some good curveball pitches against Martinez. And Victor, a very smart hitter. Waits, wraps it back through the middle.
So the tying run is aboard, and here is Johnny Peralta, who rescued the Tigers earlier in that Game 4 against the A's with a game-tying 3-run shot off Dan Straley. 1 on, 1 out. Ball 1. On deck is a left-handed hitting Avila. Out in the bullpen for the Red Sox is a left-hander Breslow. Peralta doubled to lead off the 5th inning in his last at bat. He was stranded. He's 1 for 2. Peralta with a count in his favor. Dangerous pitch coming from Lackey. Ball 3.
Johnny Peralta will swing 3-0.
And it's a 3-0 curveball.
John Lackey thought he might be swinging also.
Tying run at first. Peralta pops it up. Victorino goes to get it. 2 out. Now it's Avila. He looks toward the Red Sox dugout. He sees John Farrell pop out of there. Breslow getting ready. That could be it. And if it is, John Lackey to join this Red Sox team for the 2010 season. Went 14-11, 12-12 in 2011. Missed all of last year. Has just turned in his biggest start with the Boston Red Sox.
Not without an argument, though. He was trying to talk John Farrell into staying in the game.
Farrell wins that argument. Breslow coming in. Avila coming up. 1-0 in the 7th with 2 out. We flash back to 2009 ALCS Game 5 against the Yankees. Mike Scioscia, his manager. This is mine. This is mine. Now one to come out. The Angels won that Game 5 and sent the series back to Yankee Stadium, and now looking at John Farrell, a little less demonstrative, but the same message both times. He wanted to stay in this ball game, but he gives way both times. 6 2/3 innings. This time he leaves, and Craig Breslow takes over up 1-0 in the 7th.
It's almost like you have to get a winch to get him out of the game.
Here's Breslow, great numbers this postseason, game number 5 for him. His first postseason, and he delivers a strike to Avila. 6 2/3. So far, no runs for Lackey. He's responsible for the runner at first, Victor Martinez. 4 hits, 8 strikeouts, no walks. Red Sox could not have hoped for anything better out of Lackey against Verlander here today. 1 ball, 1 strike.
Boston outfield in a no doubles defense, even though there's really no speed on it first base in Victor Martinez. But they're deeper than they would normally play for Alex Avila. Ball. Base in Victor Martinez.
Show you. Don't care whether it's a lefty or a
in Victor Martinez.
Nobody getting loose for the Red Sox in their pen. Action for the Tigers with Jose Veras and Phil Koch. Ball 3. That'll put 2 on. And the tying run down to second with 2 out in the 7th. Now it's up to Infante.
Now the outfield moves back into normal depth. And if a ball is hit sharply to one of the outfielders, they probably will have a play on Victor Martinez, who is, again, not a fast runner at second base.
That was the first walk handed to the Tigers tonight. Infante will try to make the Red Sox pay for it. 2 on, 2 out. Strike one. Infante has struck out twice. That was against Lackey. He is 1 out of 9 with no RBIs in this LCS. Pedroia to his right, flips, and the inning is over. Breslow gets out of the 7th. And Lackey goes 6 2/3, no runs on 4 hits here in game 3. We go to the 8th inning. As you look at the reaction from John Lackey, what a game by the right-hander. 1-0 Boston into the 8th. Verlander back for more as Stephen Drew takes the ball. 1-0, the Red Sox lead it as we play into the 8th inning in game 3. The series tied at a game apiece. Drew, then Middlebrooks, then Ellsbury against Verlander. Gave up a 7th inning home run to Napoli and now gives up a leadoff hit to Stephen Drew. He'll think about 2 and he'll go as Hunter bobbles it in right. It'll likely be a hit and an error. It looked like Stephen Drew was content with stopping once he rounded the bag, but once Torrey Hunter dropped it in right.
But what he did, he rounded the bag far enough to give himself a chance to go, and he saw that Hunter bobble the ball. Watch him round the bag far enough right there. That gave him a chance to go to second base, and he does it. An error on Torrey Hunter, but good base running by Stephen Drew.
Single E9.
But a possibility here.
Middlebrooks 0 for 2. He has struck out, flied out.
Verlander trying to find out if he was bunting or not with that fake move to second base.
So they add to their record now 42 strikeouts within this series. An MLB record through the first 3 games of a postseason series. 10 for Verlander after Scherzer struck out 13 in game 2. Sanchez struck out 12 in game 1, and the bullpen racks them up as well. While they talk, we'll give you tonight's Dodge Durango trivia question. Who holds the longest consecutive scoreless inning streak by a pitcher in a single postseason? The answer, Christy Mathewson of the New York Giants in 1905. 27 innings, shut out the Philadelphia A's in games 1, 3, and 5 of the World Series. Giants won that series 4 games to 1. Middlebrooks flies one into left center field. Austin Jackson hauls it in. 1 out, and Middlebrooks did not advance the runner.
By the way, that 1905 World Series, Christy Mathewson pitched those 3 shutouts in 6 days. Every other day he pitched. 3 shutouts in 6 days. I think they were worried about a pitch count 108 years ago.
No.
Didn't even have a clicker yet.
Here's Ellsbury. Runner at second, 1 out. Jacoby has 1 hit, his first of this ALCS. It came in the 6th. He's 1 for 9. It was a big out picked up by Verlander as Middlebrooks did not push Drew to third. Ball 1 outside. Ellsbury in his career during the postseason is a .474 hitter with runners in scoring position. ball, one strike. Tigers in the bottom of this 8th inning will have Dirks scheduled, then Austin Jackson, Torrey Hunter. If anybody gets on, Miguel Cabrera. The Red Sox have not tested him, Miguel Cabrera, by dropping one down yet in this ALCS. When Ellsbury's been up, Cabrera has been pulled in, no matter the situation. Easy into left for Dirks. 2 out. We look ahead to tomorrow in the matchup with Doug Fister and Jake Peavy. Their regular season records. Fister was traded to the Tigers in 2011. Peavy was traded to the Red Sox July 3rd of this year. Peavy a no decision in the divisional series. Same for Fister. Their teams won both their efforts. Game 4. Here's Victorino with a line drive caught by Peralta. And Verlander gets around the runner at second. Nobody out. We go to the bottom of the 8th. 9, 1, and 2 hitters coming up. Red Sox lead 1-0. Breslow back to work. A pinch hitter will start the inning. Former Boston Red Sox shortstop and third baseman, product of their system, Jose Iglesias digs in. He bats for Dirks. And Breslow remains. Strike one.
This is real confidence in Breslow pitching to right-handed batters. We were talking about it between innings, Joe. Possibility of Tozawa being in the game once Iglesias was announced, but not so.
Next 4 hitters right-handed.
Yeah.
2 strikes on Iglesias. Breslow a big part of the divisional series win over Tampa Bay. He got 5 outs over 3 different innings in the clincher game 4 in Florida when 3 2/3 didn't allow a run in that series. First time for him in the postseason, he has not been phased. Strikes out Iglesias to start the inning.
Iglesias got a good pitch to hit 0-2. Ball right down the pipe. Taken for strike 3. I think it surprised him. Probably thinking Breslow was going to waste a pitch. He didn't.
Now it's Austin Jackson. 1 for 13 in this series. Takes ball 1 low. He has struck out twice in this game, 18 times already this postseason. In 33 at bats. The 1-0. Off the end of the bat, strike 1. Verlander, it looks like, is finished after 8. Jacket is on. There is action for the Tigers out in their pen. Right now the focus on Austin Jackson and Craig Breslow. Just outside. 2 balls and a strike. Jackson hit 12 home runs during the regular season. Ball 3. .120 pitch game. Looked like Verlander started that conversation with that's it. 8 innings, a run on 4 hits. But on the short end, 3-1. A 1-out walk. And with Torrey Hunter coming up, John Farrell is coming out. He's got Tazawa and Uehara both getting loose in the bullpen.
You know, Joe, Jackson on at first base, he's the fastest runner of the Tigers. So by taking out the left-hander, you take away the worst move by bringing in the right-hander, Tazawa.
Breslow is out. Red Sox make a pitching change in the 8th. Season. We welcome you inside our broadcast booth. I'm Joe, that's Tim, and it's been another great game in this ALCS.
And it's an interesting twist right here because you take Breslow out. Breslow, the left-hander, looking right at Jackson. Jackson, the fastest guy on the Tigers. Torrey Hunter handles the bat well. You bring in the right-hander. Hit and run as an option. A stolen base is an option. Interesting move by John Farrell.
It's Torrey Hunter. Tying run at first, 1 out after the walk to Jackson. Ball 1 upstairs. Hunter does not have an RBI this postseason. 1 for 3 in this game, 2 for 13. In this LCS, and 1 for 4 against Tazawa. Good movement on that 93-mile-per-hour fastball. Strike 1. Late swing by Hunter, strike 2. 94 from Tazawa. Uehara still getting loose for the Red Sox out in their bullpen. 5 saves this season of 4 or more outs with Cabrera on deck. It's Torrey Hunter. And it's 2-2.
That was close. That's the tight pitch you want to make with the count 1-2. Actually, that ball was farther outside than I thought.
Hunter hit 17 home runs during the regular season. Victorino cuts it off with the tying run. Jackson over to third with 1 out.
Torrey Hunter catches up with the fastball. Rifles it down the right field line. Good play by Victorino to hold Hunter to first base. First and third, 1 out for the Tigers with the best hitter in the game up.
Junichi Tazawa Greeted with a base hit to right by Hunter. And now Cabrera. Good heat from Tozawa, strike one. Chanting MVP for the Triple Crown winner, Miguel Cabrera. The 0-1. Strike two.
I don't think Tozawa can throw the ball any harder than those last two fastballs.
And he put it in a spot where the Red Sox came into this ALCS trying to pitch Miguel Cabrera away. Still battling that bad groin. Set up at 0-2. He goes back out there too far. You have said it 50 times. There is nobody in baseball who cares less about hitting with two strikes than Miguel Cabrera.
You got that right. Exactly.
First and third, one out. Infield is back, looking for the double play ball. The 1-2. 2 out. A huge strikeout for Tozawa to get Miguel Cabrera, and how did he do it?
4 straight fastballs. Then he misses 0-2, but watch where this pitch is. Way outside, and an anxious Cabrera strikes out. And then looks at Tozawa.
Tozawa gives up the hit, comes back with a strikeout of Cabrera. Fielder is coming up. Uehara coming in for the Boston Red Sox. July, he's been almost untouchable. And in this season, he has filled a role for the Red Sox. He's about to throw his most important pitches with Boston. Prince Fielder digging in. Tying run at third. Go-ahead run at first. 2 out in the 8th. Game 3. Series tied. Strike one. Pitch was up from Uehara, and Fielder fouled it back.
I don't think Prince Fielder will see any more fastballs. That devastating split finger fastball that goes into a left-handed batter, down to a left-handed batter, and away from a left-handed batter. 3 directions.
Fielder may have missed his pitch on that first delivery.
Yeah, in fact, he did come back with a fastball. He did miss his pitch. And now the 2-seam fastball to get ahead.
Prince Fielder is in his 15th straight postseason game, looking for his first RBI. And it will not come here. The splitter gets him and ends the 8th. And on 3 straight pitches, Koji Uehara, the split finger that disappears. And so does the threat for the Tigers in the 8th. It's game 3 of the ALCS into the 9th. Red Sox leading by 1. It'll be Pedroia, Ortiz, and Napoli. against Jose Veras. Verlander could not have been much better. 8 innings, 1 run on 4 hits, 10 strikeouts, 1 walk. But one of the 4 hits was a home run by Napoli in the 7th. Napoli will bat in this inning. As you look at the numbers this postseason for Veras, Pedroia 0 for 3 in tonight's game, 2 for 9 in this LCS. Big breaking ball swung on and missed, strike 2.
That's what Veras has featured in his appearances, that sharp breaking ball to right-handed batters.
Pedroia's flied out twice, grounded out. And now he strikes out. 1 away in the 9th. As the guy who started the season as the closer for the Houston Astros traded to the Tigers. Snaps off this breaking ball to get Pedroia. Ortiz is announced. Leland makes his walk. Veras strikes out the only hitter he faces here tonight. He's making his first appearance since the 18th of September. Was not on the active roster during the division series against the A's. And here he is dealing with David Ortiz with 1 out, nobody on in the 9th. Red Sox leading 1-0. Veras struck out Pedroia, and now strike 1 on Ortiz. Don Kelly is taken over and left after the Tigers pinch hit, with Iglesias for Dirks to start the bottom of the 8th. Here's the 0-1. Into the shift. 2 out. Infante makes the play. Jim Leland will make a pitching change with Mike Napoli, one of the heroes for the Red Sox so far in this game 3, coming up. Albuquerque takes over for the Tigers in the 9th. 2 out, nobody on. Mike Napoli, who has produced the only run of the night with a solo shot in the 7th off Verlander, takes a ball high. His 6th career postseason home run, and his first of this postseason. 1 ball, 1 strike. Uehara in the bottom of this 9th inning will deal with Martinez, Victor Martinez, Johnny Peralta, and Alex Avila. Strike 2. Mike Napoli has proven that he is willing to change. He's also proven that he's superstitious. First 2 games of this ALCS, pant legs high, Red Sox showing. Even in this game, in his first 2 at-bats against Verlander, his 3rd at-bat, pant legs are down. No Red Sox showing, but he lifted the Red Sox with a home run over the wall in left center. He's the guy who followed David Ortiz in his game-tying grand slam in the 8th inning on Sunday night in Game 2. He said, how am I going to top that? Tonight, he's the only one who's made a swing where it's mattered to this point. He ended up striking out after that grand slam by Ortiz.
Maybe an attempt at juvenile humor, but I guess you could say that the only time he's had a hit is with his pants down.
Well, 2-2. 2 out, nobody on. Little slow hopper left side. That's Peralta, and he gets Napoli and sends us into the bottom of the 9th. This place will be alive. Koji Uehara trying to end it. Series tied at a game apiece. Red Sox up 1-0. Getting started. Catch the show critics say delivers the goods, and see why they call Ronda Rousey and Miesha Tate the new best rivalry in sports. Get hooked on the show everyone is talking about, The Ultimate Fighter. All new Wednesday, only on Fox Sports 1. To find Fox Sports 1 on your provider, go to foxsports1.com. Bottom of the 9th inning. 1-0, the Red Sox lead. The bullpen for Boston's been so good this entire postseason. Koji Uehara, since taking over as the closer, has been brilliant. Victor Martinez first up. Then Peralta. Then Avila. Strike 1.
That's 12 straight strikes in the last 2 games thrown by Uehara. 8 on Sunday. He got the win, and 4 straight tonight.
He struck out Fielder after Tazawa struck out Cabrera with a tying run at 3rd. That was in the 8th. That's into left center field. Gonna get down for a single. And Victor Martinez back to the bag to start the 9th.
Probably a pinch runner now for Martinez.
Hernan Perez is going to come off the bench. Meanwhile, Victor Martinez stumbled after getting around the first base bag, trying to get back to second, right back to the bag. Let's take a look.
Seeing that the ball is going to get past an outfielder. I think he hurt that left knee. Remember, he missed all of last year with a bad left knee.
Hernan Perez does the running.
Also worth noting that had the Red Sox not been in that no doubles defense, that ball perhaps is through between the left fielder and center fielder.
Now it's Peralta. The Red Sox started the season with Joel Hanrahan as their closer. He underwent Tommy John surgery in May. Andrew Bailey, 2 stints on the DL. Shoulder surgery in July. Uehara is the man. He's helped get the Red Sox here, and he misses high with ball 1 to Johnny Peralta. Ball 1 strike.
Boy, that was a wicked splitter. Diving out of the strike zone. It looks like a strike, and it dives late.
Strike two.
Peralta thought it was low, and it was. Sox with a huge break on that 1-1 pitch.
Reaching for it. Out in second. Double play. And the Tigers are down to their final out with Avila coming up.
That was a splitter. He reaches for it and grounds it out. But in fairness, that at bat could have changed had that 1-1 pitch been a ball instead of a strike.
Koji Ohara is trying for his second save in this postseason of more than an inning. He won an inning and a third in Game 4 of the divisional series at Tampa Bay. Trying for his 6th save in that category. Overall, here's Avila. Ball one. Alex Avila homered Sunday night. He hit 11 during the regular season, has that one this postseason. They shift on the infield, playing Avila to pull. 2 out, bases empty. Strike one. You heard a lot about John Lackey not being able to win this season away from Fenway Park. As Avila takes strike two. He was 4-10 on the road, Lackey. Well, he turned in a tremendous clutch road playoff masterpiece here tonight. 6 2/3, no runs, 4 hits, 8 strikeouts, no walks. And O'Hara is trying to save it for him. 1-2 on Avila with 2 out. 2-2. Crowd gets back in. Avila just got a piece. Now a full count. On deck is Infante. Game over. Red Sox win Game 3. And a 1-0 final here in Detroit. Uehara doing his thing here in Detroit and getting the 4-out save. And you see Justin Verlander walking away. This is the 4th time in the last 6 Verlander starts that the Tigers didn't score for him. And it's the Tigers' 3rd 1-0 loss in the last 4 Verlander starts. He got a no decision in the first 2 games. He's on the hook for the loss here tonight. What a pitching performance here tonight by Lackey, Breslow, Tozawa, and Uehara, who gets the save. And for the Red Sox, their 3rd 1-0 win in their postseason history. And it was the splitter that ended the night for the Tigers.
Remarkable control with that splitter when you could throw it on a 3-2 count to the 27th out of the game.
Uehara came on to strike out Fielder with first and third, 2 out in the 8th. He gets a double play ball after the leadoff hit by Victor Martinez in the 9th. Gets a lift from Big Poppy after his second strikeout. Ends the ball game 1-0 Red Sox. Down to Aaron Andrews we go.
Joe, thanks so much. Here with Mike Napoli. Now, your last home run against Justin Verlander came on May 4th, 2006. Your first career at bat. What took you so long to get another one?
I don't know, man. He's tough. You know, he was on his game tonight, and you know, he's keeping all of us, you know, off balance. But I got into a 3-2 count and put a good swing on the pitch, and was able to drive it out.
We noticed that everyone's trying to figure out how to hit this guy. You may have figured it out by pulling the pant legs down. When did that come into play?
I don't know. I yelled at Bogey. I said, if I get out, go give me some long pants, and he did. But I rubbed my bat on Johnny's beard before I went out to that at bat, and I don't know, just try to put a good bat together, and came through.
Thanks so much. Congratulations. Kenny, over to you.
Thanks, Aaron. Jared, John Lackey, brilliant tonight. What made him so good?
He was he just never gave in. You know, he was gotten some situations, first and third. You know, he never gave in. Never wanted to really leave anything over the plate. Didn't matter what the situation, man on third, 1 out, you know, just some big at-bats that we were able to, you know, keep in our favor.
It seemed like he got even better after the 17-minute delay. Did anything change?
You know what, I think maybe just that little time off had him a chance to kind of slow down a little bit. He was excited and pumped that first inning. You know, kind of getting excited with the slider, throwing it maybe a little too hard and leaving it over the middle, but he was still, you know, still pretty effective, but maybe that just gave him a chance to slow down.
Your bullpen in the 8th inning, Tazawa gets Tazawa gets Cabrera, Uehara gets Fielder. How did they approach those two at-bats?
You know, the last 2 innings, 7-8 inning with Breslow coming in and, you know, really shutting that inning down, and then the 8th inning, you know, Taz, that was huge. You know, Cabrera's such a great hitter, 1 out. You know, those are situations he thrives in. You know, he gets in situations where he can get an RBI, and it's tough to get him out, you know, let alone strike him out. But, you know, he just did a great job pumping the fastballs away. You know, and he's so sneaky with that, you know, 94, 95 that it's tough to hit.
Getting back to Lackey, he sometimes gets upset when he has to come out of a game. How was he tonight?
You know, he's the same as always, man. He's a competitor. He's a guy that you want on the mound every night. He's going to compete whether he's got something or doesn't. And, you know, none of our starters ever want to come out of a game, especially a big game like this. But, you know, we can trust our bullpen. That's one thing, you know, I think Lack understood.
Jared, thank you very much. Joe, back to you.
All right, Kenny, thank you. This series already has reminded us all why this game is so great. So many wonderful moments already through 3 games. And it has been heart-racing action between the Red Sox and the Tigers as the Red Sox lead this best of 7, 2-1. We're going to take a break and come back here to Detroit. A 1-0 Boston win behind John Lackey here tonight in Detroit. Back after this.